It's going to be a no for me. Of course, as I'm about to start talking about eclipse season related things, the construction has started outside. So if you can hear it, that's what's going on. Sometimes we invoke the planetary energy when we're talking about it, even in just this little moment here that we're sharing. So I want to talk to you today about this little pocket window where the Sun and Mercury are going to activate the South Node. So we want to watch for this activation between the days of November 21st through November 25th. And we are in eclipse season. So whenever the Sun aligns with the North or South Node, it's always going to be between two eclipses. And this is a highly potent time where big storylines that are already in development can become intensified, and there can be further significant developments going on as the Sun aligns with the South Node. The other way that this can show up is, say you didn't get your eclipse message yet. Say you didn't get your lunar eclipse message on the 19th or the 20th, or even a little bit prior. Say you didn't get that big, oh my God, aha, or however it shows up, because eclipses can get creative in that way. This is a potent date where something might be happening. Also, we are at the very end of the eclipses in the Gemini-Sagittarius axis. We are about to have one last one in Sagittarius for another 8 years. We won't see one. And so very often there are parting messages from the nodal axis before it changes signs, so that we can wrap things up and get a sense of closure, or there's some sort of conclusion. There's like some concluding remarks, or, you know, you get like your grades at the end of the semester. It's like, yep, got to work on that. So very often there can be important messages or developments that kind of neatly summarize, well, not neatly, it's eclipses, but they summarize and condense and clarify very often what we were just learning. So think about where these eclipses were happening. Think about where you have Gemini Sagittarius in your chart, and there may be some sort of just like final illumination around that. If you're not sure where those are happening in your chart and you would like some help getting a little bit more clarity on what is wrapping up for you and what the new cycle of eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio are going to be about, I am offering for this for a limited time only mini eclipse readings. And so you can book that on my website. We can also talk about the eclipses anytime, by the way. I offer regular readings, longer ones, more extended readings. And so we can always cover the eclipses there too. So anyways, we may see some significant developments happening, not just in our own lives, but in the world. The Sun deals with leadership. Historically, eclipses were always seen to take leaders out and to shift leadership and to shift kingdoms and empires and things of that nature. In the modern day, that doesn't just apply to leaders and whatnot. It also applies to celebrities, public figures, people who are in the public eye and very influential. So this is the South Node. We're going to be seeing a diminishing. We're going to be seeing the taking away. So we may see people step back. We may see people step down, certain notable figures, if you know what I mean. And also just kind of like scale things back a little bit. And there could be the decision to step back completely, whether it's by their own accord or whether it's by some sort of significant event. So as we've seen these eclipses in the sign of Sagittarius, there's been a theme of cancel culture. So people have been just like getting canceled. And while we're at the end of this journey, and there is now starting to be very necessary discourse and critique on the damaging effects of cancel culture, it still doesn't mean that we can't have conversations about behavior. So there is like the tendency for something like that, you know, someone gets caught or someone is just like, I don't have the energy anymore. So we may want to watch for that. There could be some shifts in dynamics. It could even show up in your workplace, you know, especially if you've got Sagittarius in your 10th house, if you're good old Pisces rising, then, you know, there could be shifts in leadership dynamic in your workplace to watch for. So that's something to pay attention to. we're also going to have Mercury. And we know that Mercury in Sagittarius has a little bit of the foot and mouth syndrome that can happen where it's like, oh, didn't mean to say that. So we might want to watch for the slippery tongue to either go on some sort of like egregious rant that is like, oh no, they said that, oh yikes, or some kind of tell-all. I know we're waiting for Britney Spears to do her expose with Oprah, so I wouldn't be surprised if that emerged around this time. But there's some kind of big truth telling, there's some big release. It's a south node. We want to release, we want to let go of something. And so for us personally, and so for people who are, there's maybe just like a need to word vomit. Okay. And so that could be us who are doing that, or maybe we're holding space, or maybe we're witnessing. So just be aware of that people are going to be really ready to let some stuff go. And it could be something that they've been gearing up to let go of for a long time, or it could be sudden. Eclipses work in that way where it happens so suddenly. So that's what's going on here in this little window. And yeah, it should be interesting to say the least. So that was your South Node astrology shot of the day. Thanks so much for tuning in with me today. For more astrology in your world, you can connect with me on all platforms at Astro Catherine, and for a limited time, you can also book your one-on-one mini eclipse reading, and I look forward to diving in with you.